Hey crypto friends, my name is Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a very specific candlestick that I absolutely love to trade since I am a big fan of shorting the crypto market. But for everybody else out there, especially the insanely bullish people out there, these people absolutely hate these candlesticks, all right? Now, for those of you who love trading crypto and would like to try the same exchange that I use on a daily basis, feel free to go ahead and try out the Blowfin exchange here with the link in the video description down below this video. Now, guys, we're going to be going ahead and we are going to be talking about this candlestick pattern simply because it is very, very extremely useful, all right? So the first thing we're going to start out with is the structure, all right? So these are called shooting star candles, all right? Now, this is the structure of them. You can see my arrows pointing to them. There's one right here and there's one right here as well. All right. Now, as you guys can clearly see, the way that they're built up is bulls try to push the candle all the way up. As you guys can clearly see, they try to push it up. They usually come after a very large uptrend. As you guys can clearly see, we had a very big green candle before, and we had a very big run up right here as well. All right. At the very top, bulls tried to push it even higher, but bears ended up pushing it back down. And as you guys can clearly see, it ended up closing below the previous candle as well. All right, so that right there tells us that, yes, it's probably going to be bearish, and the next candle is going to open up red, and we're probably going to start dropping. All right, and that's typically usually what happens with bearish shooting star candles. Now, the way that they're made up with is you've got the long wick at the top, and then you've got a very small body at the bottom, all right? And you can clearly see that right in here, all right? You can see that there, and you can see it right in there as well. Now, there's not always a wick at the bottom of the candle either. Sometimes it's just a body at the bottom, and that's it. There's no candle wick whatsoever. It's usually just a body. But sometimes here there are little bits and pieces of a wick at the bottom, and that's okay to see, all right? But realistically, overall here, when you start to see these types of candles, you either if you are in a long position, you either want to get out of it and take your profits on that position, or B, if you are in a long-term trade, like in the spot market, then you want to go ahead and sell your altcoin and wait for it to drop and wait for its bottom to drop and get in at the bottom of that valley, all right? Because the overall goal is not to continue to keep holding and waiting for more and more and more and more, all right? You have to take profits in this market. There's not enough people that take profits, and it's because they fail to look at, basic charting analysis and very basic candlestick patterns like this, all right? You can tell a lot about what the market is going to do just by looking at these candlesticks. And shooting star candles, they are insanely good for spotting potential bearish reversals, all right? So, as you guys can clearly see here, this one ended up happening right here. If you were to have entered a short right there, you would have made some pretty darn good, decent profit. At the bottom of down here, you would have made roughly around 2.75%. Multiply that by, if you're using leverage, 10x or 20x leverage, you would have made anywhere between, probably like between 25 to 50% profits right there just on that big drop alone, all right? Now, this one you would have made even more because, as you guys can clearly see, it continued to stay bearish overall, all right? We ended up coming down, and then we ended up going back up to retest the moving average. It ended up failing, and then it went back down, and then we ended up creating this not gigantic, it's not very big, but we ended up creating this bear flag right in here, and then we ended up coming back down, then going back up to retest the MA, failed to retest it, came back down, tried to retest it again, came back down, and now we are trying to retest it once more again. So if you were to have traded this one right here, you would have made some pretty darn good profits here, all right? From there, from the top to the bottom, we're looking at about 8.6% right here, all right? Which with about 10x leverage, that's about, 86% right there. Or with 20x leverage, you're looking at roughly around 160 to 170% profits right there, all right? So it goes to show that you can trade and you can make some pretty darn good profits just by looking at these bearish shooting star candles here if you are not the type of person who is scared to trade in both directions in the market, all right? So guys, overall here though, bearish shooting star candles, Bearish shooting star candles are great for people like me personally, who absolutely love to make money by trading in both directions, and they're also a great indicator for position traders as well, just simply to know when to get out of their longer term swing trades, as well as long term hodlers who are, simply looking for a place to sell their positions at the top of the macro trends as well. All right. However, if you do not have much experience with spotting these types of candlesticks, I would highly recommend doing some back testing first before you do anything, just so that you can visually see the pattern of, going to the downside, and you can see what they're kind of doing, and you can kind of get a general idea of where they're spotted and how far down they end up going and what they look like and all that good stuff. All right. Now, guys, before I go ahead and wrap up this video, if you guys enjoyed this one and you feel like you got some decent value out of it, please be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button below the video, and drop me a comment below the video about something that you loved about it as well. And with that said, for those of you guys who stuck around and watched this entire video throughout the whole thing, thank you guys very much. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see many of you in my future videos.